10 hidden female weaknesses that put you in control. Imagine a scene that defies the conventional wisdom of attraction. You're in the presence of a woman who seemingly exists beyond the realm of typical male attention. She's confident, undeniably attractive, and accustomed to men who trip over themselves in a desperate attempt to win her favor. Yet, something is different in her gaze when she looks at you. It's not the familiar, dismissive glance she reserves for the countless others vying for her attention. Instead, there's a flicker of intrigue, a sense that she can't quite place you, that she wants to understand what makes you different. This scenario cuts to the core of a fundamental misunderstanding about what truly attracts women. The conventional narrative often paints women as discerning, logical beings, carefully weighing the pros and cons of potential partners based on factors like stability, financial security, or physical attractiveness. While these elements may play a role on a conscious level, they often fail to capture the far more potent forces at play beneath the surface of the female psyche. The truth, often shrouded in societal expectations and romanticized ideals, is that women, regardless of their confidence or independence, possess psychological weak spots, not in a derogatory sense, but rather areas of emotional vulnerability and longing that most men remain completely oblivious to. These aren't flaws to be exploited, but rather keys to understanding the complex and often contradictory nature of female attraction. By grasping these hidden dynamics, you can move beyond superficial attempts at impressing and connect with women on a far deeper, more meaningful level, influencing the dynamic of attraction without resorting to manipulation or deceit. This exploration is not about providing a cheat sheet or a set of manipulative tactics. It's about shedding light on the psychological undercurrents that shape female attraction, empowering you to understand what truly resonates with women on a subconscious level. Because while logic may inform our conscious decisions, attraction is, at its heart, an emotional experience. Most men attempt to appeal to the surface, focusing on external markers of success and desirability. However, the men who truly command a woman's attention are those who tap into the hidden emotional landscapes she can't resist, appealing to the longings and desires she may not even fully understand herself. Body, deconstructing the hidden weaknesses. Weakness 1. The craving for emotional escapism, the allure of the unpredictable. The romanticized image of love often emphasizes stability, predictability, and unwavering support. While these qualities are undoubtedly important in building a lasting relationship, they often fail to ignite the initial spark of attraction. Many men labor under the assumption that women are primarily seeking a partner who offers security and comfort, someone who provides a safe and predictable haven from the storms of life. However, this approach often overlooks a fundamental aspect of the female psyche, the craving for emotional escapism. Women, just like men, are drawn to experiences that transport them beyond the mundane, that offer a temporary reprieve from the routines and responsibilities of everyday life. They crave a partner who can inject a sense of excitement, adventure, and novelty into their world, someone who can pull them into a different emotional reality, even if only for a fleeting moment. This explains the enduring appeal of bad boys, mysterious strangers, and forbidden love stories in literature, film, and popular culture. It's not necessarily that women are actively seeking trouble or chaos, but rather that they are drawn to the intensity of emotion and the sense of possibility that these archetypes represent. This is where many men stumble, often unknowingly sabotaging their chances of attracting the women they desire. They fall into the trap of predictability, becoming the nice guy who is always available, always agreeable, and always eager to please. They text her at the same time every day, offering the same bland pleasantries. They agree with everything she says, afraid to challenge her opinions or express dissenting views. They strive to make her feel comfortable and secure, but inadvertently create an environment that is devoid of excitement and emotional depth. These men often find themselves relegated to the friend zone, a comfortable but ultimately unsatisfying space where they provide companionship and support without ever sparking the romantic interest they desire. They offer a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, and unwavering loyalty, but they fail to ignite the emotional fire that transforms friendship into attraction. They provide comfort, but not the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of possibility. To tap into this hidden weakness, you must cultivate the ability to create emotional contrast in your interactions with women. You need to transcend the role of the predictable nice guy and become a source of novelty, surprise, and emotional depth. This doesn't mean becoming a manipulative or dishonest individual, but rather learning to inject elements of unpredictability and challenge into your interactions, sparking her curiosity and keeping her emotionally engaged. Start by varying your communication patterns. Don't always be available at a moment's notice. Take some time to respond to her messages, allowing a sense of anticipation to build. Challenge her opinions respectfully, offering alternative perspectives and engaging in stimulating intellectual debates. Tell stories that transport her to different worlds, sharing your own experiences and passions in a way that captivates her imagination. The key is to avoid becoming just another predictable option in her life. You want her to perceive you as an experience rather than simply a person. You want her to associate you with feelings of excitement, intrigue, and emotional depth. The moment a woman perceives you as a source of emotional escapism, she won't simply be interested. She'll be hooked, drawn to the unpredictable energy and the promise of a journey beyond the ordinary. However, it's crucial to distinguish between genuine unpredictability and manipulative game playing. The goal is not to deliberately confuse or frustrate her, but rather to inject elements of surprise and novelty into the interaction, keeping her engaged and emotionally stimulated. The unpredictability should stem from your own authentic personality and interests, not from a calculated attempt to manipulate her emotions. In essence, you must become a source of emotional adventure, a captivating storyteller who invites her to step outside the boundaries of her everyday life and explore the uncharted territories of her own emotions. Expanding on emotional escapism, a deeper dive. To truly understand the power of emotional escapism, it's essential to explore the underlying psychological mechanisms that drive this craving. Several factors contribute to this phenomenon, including the need for novelty. Human beings are inherently curious creatures, wired to seek out new experiences and information. Novelty triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, which reinforces the behavior and makes us want to experience it again. This drive for novelty is particularly strong in the realm of romantic attraction, where the promise of new experiences and emotional discoveries can be incredibly alluring. Escape from routine. Modern life is often characterized by routine, repetition, and predictability. While these elements can provide a sense of stability and security, they can also lead to feelings of boredom, stagnation, and a longing for something more. The craving for emotional escapism is, in part, a response to this sense of routine, a desire to break free from the monotony of everyday life and experience something new and exciting. The fantasy of self-discovery. Women are often drawn to partners who represent a different way of life, a different set of values, or a different version of themselves. This attraction stems from a desire for self-discovery, a belief that by associating with this person, they can expand their horizons, challenge their assumptions, and unlock hidden aspects of their own personality. The bad boy archetype, for example, often represents a rejection of societal norms and a willingness to embrace risk and adventure, qualities that can be particularly appealing to women who feel constrained by the expectations of their own lives. The desire for intensity. Emotional intensity, even when it involves elements of uncertainty or conflict, can be incredibly stimulating. Women are often drawn to partners who evoke strong emotions, whether positive or negative, as this can create a sense of aliveness and engagement that is often lacking in more predictable relationships. This doesn't mean that women are masochistic or that they enjoy being treated poorly, but rather that they are drawn to the emotional energy and the sense of connection that can arise from navigating challenging situations with a partner. To effectively leverage the power of emotional escapism, you must cultivate the ability to tap into these underlying psychological needs. This involves developing your own unique identity. The most effective way to offer emotional escapism is to cultivate your own unique personality, interests, and passions. The more authentic and compelling you are as an individual, the more likely you are to attract women who are drawn to your unique energy and perspective. Embracing spontaneity. Be willing to step outside your comfort zone and embrace spontaneity. Plan unexpected dates, suggest unconventional activities, and be open to trying new things. This will demonstrate that you're not afraid to take risks and that you're committed to creating exciting and memorable experiences. Cultivating a sense of mystery. Avoid revealing everything about yourself up front. Leave some room for her to wonder, to speculate, and to piece together the different aspects of your personality over time. This will keep her engaged and emotionally invested in the process of getting to know you. Challenging her assumptions. Don't be afraid to challenge her opinions and beliefs, but do so respectfully and constructively. Engaging in stimulating intellectual debates can be a great way to spark her curiosity and demonstrate that you are an intelligent and thoughtful individual. Telling compelling stories. Use storytelling as a way to transport her to different worlds and to share your own experiences in a way that captivates her imagination. Focus on creating vivid imagery and evoking strong emotions, drawing her into the narrative and making her feel like she's experiencing the adventure alongside you. By mastering these techniques, you can transform yourself from a predictable and forgettable acquaintance into a captivating and irresistible force, offering the emotional escapism that women crave and forging a connection that transcends the superficial. Weakness 2. The unspoken addiction to strong boundaries. Earning, not entitlement. The image of the devoted suitor, showering a woman with attention and affection in the hopes of winning her heart, is a pervasive trope in popular culture. However, this approach often backfires, leading to the very outcome it seeks to avoid: rejection. The reason lies in a fundamental aspect of female psychology: the unspoken addiction to strong boundaries. Women are naturally drawn to men who possess a clear sense of self-worth, who value their own time and energy, and who are not afraid to assert their needs and preferences. They are attracted to men who set the tone in the relationship, who are not easily swayed by external pressures, and who command respect through their actions and demeanor. This is not to say that women are inherently attracted to domineering or controlling personalities, but rather that they are drawn to the strength and self-assurance that comes from having well-defined boundaries. Many men make the mistake of believing that being agreeable, available, and accommodating will make a woman like them more. They bend over backwards to please her, sacrificing their own needs and desires in the process. They become yes men, afraid to disagree or express dissenting opinions. They make themselves constantly available, dropping everything at a moment's notice to cater to her whims. This approach, however, often has the opposite effect. It signals a lack of self-worth, a desperation for approval, and a willingness to compromise their own values in order to gain her favor. It makes her take him for granted, diminishing her respect and ultimately eroding the attraction she may have initially felt. Women are naturally drawn to men who set the tone in the relationship. They want a man who isn't afraid to say no, a man who values his own time, his own mission, and his own self-respect. This is because that kind of man is rare, a beacon of strength and independence in a world of conformity and people-pleasing. The secret lies in understanding that women are constantly testing men, whether consciously or unconsciously. They may cancel plans to see if you'll chase, push your buttons to see if you'll crack, or dominate the conversation to see if you'll back down. These tests are not necessarily malicious or intentional, but rather a way for them to gauge your strength, your self-respect, and your ability to stand your ground. The moment she realizes that you stand firm in your values, that you won't bend just to please her, she stops testing and starts respecting you. And respect, that's the foundation of real attraction. Without respect, there can be no genuine connection, no lasting desire. If you ever feel like a woman is losing interest, ask yourself, are you holding your ground, or are you just trying to keep her happy? Women don't fall for men who give them everything. They fall for men who make them earn it. They are drawn to the challenge, to the sense of accomplishment that comes from winning the attention and affection of a man who values himself and his own pursuits. Once you understand this dynamic, the entire game of attraction changes. You no longer feel the need to chase, to beg, or to compromise your own values. Instead, you focus on cultivating your own strength, your own self-respect, and your own unwavering sense of purpose. You become the prize, the one who is worth pursuing, and women will naturally gravitate towards you, drawn to the magnetic pull of your unwavering self-assurance. The nuances of boundaries, a practical guide. Establishing and maintaining strong boundaries is not about being rigid, unyielding, or emotionally unavailable. It's about having a clear understanding of your own values, needs, and limits, and communicating those boundaries effectively and respectfully. Here are some practical tips for cultivating strong boundaries in your interactions with women. Know your values. Before you can set boundaries, you need to know what you stand for. What are your core values? What are your non-negotiables? What are you willing to compromise on, and what are you not? Spend some time reflecting on your values and identifying the principles that guide your decisions and actions. Communicate clearly. Once you know your boundaries, communicate them clearly and directly. Avoid ambiguity or passive-aggressive behavior. Be assertive but respectful in expressing your needs and preferences. For example, if you have a busy schedule, let her know that you're not always available at a moment's notice, but that you will make time for her when you can. Say no without guilt. Learn to say no without feeling guilty or obligated to provide elaborate explanations. A simple, "Thank you for the invitation, but I'm not available at that time," is often sufficient. Don't apologize for having your own life, your own priorities, and your own commitments. Enforce consequences. Boundaries are only effective if they are enforced. If someone crosses your boundaries, address it directly and consistently. Let them know that their behavior is unacceptable and that you will not tolerate it. Be prepared to walk away if they continue to disrespect your boundaries. Prioritize self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential for maintaining strong boundaries. Make time for activities that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. This will help you to feel more grounded, more confident, and more resilient in the face of external pressures. Don't be afraid to disagree. Agreeing with everything she says in an attempt to win her favor is a sign of weakness. Don't be afraid to challenge her opinions, express dissenting views, and engage in stimulating intellectual debates. This demonstrates that you have your own mind and that you are not simply trying to please her. Respect her boundaries. Boundaries are a two-way street. Just as you expect her to respect your boundaries, you must also respect hers. Listen to her needs and preferences and avoid pressuring her to do anything she is not comfortable with. Be consistent. Consistency is key to maintaining strong boundaries. Don't waver or make exceptions, as this will send a message that your boundaries are negotiable. Be firm and unwavering in your commitment to upholding your own values and needs. By mastering the art of setting and maintaining strong boundaries, you will cultivate a sense of self-respect, self-assurance, and inner strength that is incredibly attractive to women. You will become the man who is worth pursuing, the one who is not afraid to stand his ground, and the one who commands respect simply by being true to himself. Weakness 3. The thrill of uncertainty, keeping her guessing in the right way. In the realm of attraction, predictability is often the kiss of death. Once a woman feels like she has you figured out, that she knows exactly how you feel and what you're going to do, the chase is over, and the spark of attraction begins to fade. This is because human beings are wired for novelty and excitement, and the thrill of uncertainty plays a crucial role in maintaining interest and engagement. Think about the last time you were completely engrossed in a TV show, a movie, or a book. What kept you glued to the screen or turning the pages? It wasn't the predictable parts, the moments where everything went according to plan. It was the tension, the mystery, the feeling of not knowing what was going to happen next. The same principle applies to attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who can create uncertainty in a controlled way, who keep them on their toes and prevent them from becoming complacent. This doesn't mean that women want complete chaos or that they enjoy being treated poorly. It simply means that they are drawn to men who can inject a sense of mystery, intrigue, and anticipation into the relationship, keeping them emotionally engaged and preventing them from becoming bored. This is why so many women fall for men who aren't overly eager to please, who don't reveal all their cards up front, and who maintain a degree of independence and self-sufficiency. These men possess an air of mystery that is inherently alluring, a sense that there is more to them than meets the eye. Ask yourself, do you instantly reply to her messages? Do you always tell her how much you like her without letting the tension build? Do you give away all your emotions up front, leaving nothing for her to wonder about? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, then chances are you're making things too easy for her. This doesn't mean you should play childish mind games or act distant for no reason. It simply means that you should leave space for mystery, allowing her to speculate, to wonder, and to invest her own energy into trying to figure you out. Instead of texting back immediately, wait a little. Let her wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and what you're thinking. Instead of telling her exactly how you feel right away, let her wonder about your emotions, allowing her to interpret your actions and words in her own way. Instead of always being available, make her work for your time. Let her know that you have a busy schedule and that you can't always drop everything at a moment's notice. This doesn't make you a bad guy. It makes you valuable. It signals that you have a life outside of her, that you're not desperate for her attention, and that you are worth pursuing. Women crave excitement, adventure, and men who don't give themselves away like a cheap prize. The moment she's unsure about where she stands with you, she starts thinking about you nonstop. She starts analyzing your every word and action, trying to decipher your true intentions. She starts chasing, and that's when the tables turn. You become the prize, the one who is worth pursuing, and she becomes the one who is driven by the thrill of the chase. Strategic uncertainty, striking the right balance. The key to effectively leveraging the thrill of uncertainty is to strike the right balance. You want to create enough uncertainty to keep her engaged and emotionally invested, but not so much that you make her feel insecure, anxious, or confused. Here are some strategies for creating strategic uncertainty. Be unpredictable, but not erratic. Vary your behavior and avoid falling into predictable patterns, but don't be erratic or inconsistent. You want to keep her on her toes, but you also want to maintain a sense of stability and reliability. Leave some things unsaid. Don't reveal all your thoughts and feelings up front. Leave some room for her to wonder, to speculate, and to draw her own conclusions. This will keep her engaged and emotionally invested in the process of getting to know you. Be independent. Demonstrate that you have a life outside of her, that you are not dependent on her for your happiness, and that you are capable of thriving on your own. This will make her value your time and attention more. Challenge her. Don't always agree with her or cater to her whims. Challenge her opinions, express dissenting views, and engage in stimulating intellectual debates. This will demonstrate that you have your own mind and that you are not simply trying to please her. Be playful. Inject elements of playfulness and humor into your interactions. Tease her, make jokes, and create a lighthearted atmosphere that encourages her to relax and let her guard down. Be mysterious. Cultivate a sense of mystery by not revealing everything about yourself up front. Leave some room for her to wonder about your past, your interests, and your true intentions. Take your time. Don't rush the relationship or push for intimacy too soon. Allow the connection to develop naturally at its own pace. This will create a sense of anticipation and make her value the moments you do spend together. However, it's crucial to avoid using uncertainty as a manipulative tactic. The goal is not to deliberately confuse or frustrate her, but rather to inject elements of surprise and novelty into the interaction, keeping her engaged and emotionally stimulated. The uncertainty should stem from your own authentic personality and interests, not from a calculated attempt to control her emotions. In essence, you must become a captivating enigma, a puzzle that she is driven to solve, a source of excitement and intrigue that keeps her emotionally engaged and prevents her from becoming bored or complacent. Weakness 4. The magnetic pull of leadership, the decisive alpha. The archetype of the strong, decisive leader has held sway over the human imagination for centuries. From mythical heroes to historical figures, the ability to inspire, guide, and protect has always been a source of immense power and attraction. This is because leadership taps into a fundamental human need for direction, security, and a sense of purpose. Women, perhaps even more so than men, are naturally drawn to leaders. They are attracted to men who possess a clear vision, who are confident in their decisions, and who are not afraid to take charge. This is not to say that women want to be controlled or dominated, but rather that they are drawn to the strength and self-assurance that comes from knowing what you want and having the courage to pursue it. Many men make the mistake of believing that being nice or agreeable will win a woman's heart. They try to befriend her, to cater to her every whim, and to avoid conflict at all costs. However, this approach often backfires, sending the message that they are weak, indecisive, and lacking in self-confidence. Women don't dream about following a man who follows them. They dream about a man who leads, who inspires, and who guides them towards a brighter future. They are drawn to men who move with purpose, who don't ask for permission to exist, who make their own decisions, stand by them, and expect others to either follow or get left behind. Think about it. Have you ever seen a woman fall head over heels for a guy who constantly asks, "What do you want to do?" instead of deciding for himself? Have you noticed how the men who get respected by both men and women are the ones who don't hesitate when it's time to act? Have you ever heard a woman say, "I just love a guy who lets me make all the decisions"? No, exactly. This doesn't mean you should control or dominate a woman's life. It simply means that you should be decisive, confident, and willing to take the lead. Don't ask, "Where do you want to eat?" Instead, say, "We're going here. You'll love it." Don't wait for her to make a move. Take the lead. Don't be afraid to disagree with her. If she respects you, she'll appreciate that you have your own mind. Weak men follow, strong men lead, and women can feel the difference. The moment she realizes you have a direction in life, with or without her, she won't just be interested. She'll be drawn to you in ways she won't even understand. And once she starts looking up to you, that's when you become the kind of man she never wants to lose. The art of leadership beyond domination. Leadership is not about control, domination, or suppressing the opinions of others. It's about inspiring, guiding, and empowering those around you to reach their full potential. It's about having a clear vision, communicating it effectively, and taking decisive action to achieve it. Here are some ways to cultivate the magnetic pull of leadership in your interactions with women. Develop a clear vision. What do you want to achieve in life? What are your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations? Having a clear vision will give you a sense of purpose and direction that is inherently attractive. Be decisive. Don't hem and haw or second-guess yourself. Make decisions confidently and stick to them, even in the face of opposition. This will demonstrate that you are a strong and capable leader. Take initiative. Don't wait for others to tell you what to do. Take the initiative and be proactive in pursuing your goals. This will demonstrate that you are a self-starter and that you are not afraid to take risks. Communicate effectively. Be clear, concise, and persuasive in your communication. Articulate your vision effectively and inspire others to believe in it. Be confident. Project confidence in your abilities and your decisions. Believe in yourself, and others will believe in you too. Be respectful. Treat others with respect, even when you disagree with them. Listen to their opinions, consider their perspectives, and value their contributions. Be empathetic. Understand the needs and concerns of others and respond to them with compassion and understanding. This will make you a more effective and relatable leader. Be accountable. Take responsibility for your actions and your decisions. Admit your mistakes and learn from them. This will demonstrate that you are honest, trustworthy, and reliable. Be inspiring. Inspire others to believe in themselves and to reach their full potential. This will make you a leader that people are drawn to and want to follow. However, it's crucial to avoid mistaking leadership for control or domination. The goal is not to dictate her every move or to suppress her own opinions and desires. It's about creating a partnership where you can both support and empower each other to achieve your individual goals. In essence, you must become the kind of man who inspires her to be her best self, who challenges her to grow and develop, and who guides her towards a brighter future, all while respecting her autonomy and valuing her unique contributions. Weakness 5. The desire for a man who doesn't need her. Purpose over possession. The final, and perhaps most paradoxical, weakness of all is the desire for a man who doesn't need her. This may seem counterintuitive, but it cuts to the core of what women truly seek in a long-term partner. A man who is complete and fulfilled in himself. A man who has a purpose that extends beyond a relationship. A man who is not dependent on her for his happiness or sense of self-worth. Most men get this completely wrong. They make a woman their priority too soon, dropping their goals, abandoning their ambitions, and starting to structure their lives around her. They become overly attentive, constantly seeking her approval and validation. They make her the center of their world, hoping to secure her love and commitment. However, this approach almost always backfires. The moment a woman feels that she's the only thing driving your happiness, she stops respecting you. Not because she's cruel, not because she wants to hurt you, but because it signals a lack of inner strength, a dependence on external validation, and a lack of purpose that is ultimately unattractive. Think about it. Why do women obsess over celebrities, athletes, and high achievers? Why do they get hooked on men who seem like they have bigger things going on than just a relationship? Why do women chase the man who isn't always available instead of the guy who's always there? It's simple. They want a man who has purpose. A woman wants to feel like she's part of something bigger, not like she is the something bigger. When you have a vision, a goal, a life that excites you with or without her, you become instantly attractive. You project an aura of self-sufficiency, independence, and inner strength that is inherently compelling. But the moment you start revolving your world around her, you become replaceable. You signal that you are desperate for her attention and that you have nothing else going on in your life. You become just another option, easily discarded when someone more interesting or more purposeful comes along. So, how do you make sure this never happens? How do you cultivate the desire for a man who doesn't need her? Keep your mission at the center of your life. Women are attracted to men who are going somewhere, who have a clear sense of purpose and direction. Never cancel your plans just to be available. She respects a man who stands firm in his priorities, who values his own time, and who is not afraid to say no. Stay unpredictable. Your time is valuable. Make her earn it. Let her know that you have a busy schedule and that you can't always drop everything at moment's notice. The moment a woman sees that you're fulfilled, focused, and thriving on your own, she won't just be attracted to you. She'll feel lucky to be part of your world. Because deep down, every woman wants a man worth chasing, a man who is not dependent on her for his happiness, and a man who has a purpose that extends beyond the relationship. Living a purpose-driven life, the ultimate attraction magnet. Cultivating the desire for a man who doesn't need her is not about playing games or manipulating her emotions. It's about living a purpose-driven life, pursuing your passions with unwavering dedication, and becoming the best version of yourself. Here are some ways to cultivate a life that is inherently attractive. Identify your passions. What are you truly passionate about? What activities make you feel alive, engaged, and fulfilled? Identify your passions and make them a priority in your life. Set meaningful goals. What do you want to achieve in life? Set meaningful goals that challenge you to grow and develop. Having clear goals will give you a sense of direction and purpose. Develop your skills. Invest in yourself by developing your skills and knowledge. Take courses, attend workshops, and read books that will help you to grow personally and professionally. Pursue your interests. Make time for activities that you enjoy, whether it's playing sports, making music, or spending time in nature. This will help you to feel more balanced, more fulfilled, and more attractive. Give back to others, volunteer your time, donate to charity, or help those in need. Giving back to others will make you feel good about yourself and will make you a more compassionate and caring person. Take care of your health. Eat healthy, exercise regularly, and get enough sleep. Taking care of your physical health will make you feel better, look better, and have more energy to pursue your goals. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who support your dreams, encourage your growth, and make you feel good about yourself. Live in the moment. Practice mindfulness and focus on the present moment. This will help you to appreciate the little things in life and to find joy in everyday experiences. By living a purpose-driven life, you will become the kind of man who is inherently attractive to women. You will project an aura of self-sufficiency, independence, and inner strength that is irresistible. You will become the man who is worth chasing, the one who is not dependent on her for his happiness, and the one who has a purpose that extends beyond the relationship. And if you understand these weaknesses, you'll never chase again. She'll chase you. Conclusion: mastering the art of attraction through understanding. The journey into the psychological depths of female attraction reveals a landscape far more nuanced and complex than the superficial platitudes often offered. It dismantles the myth of the purely logical woman, driven solely by considerations of stability and security, and unveils the powerful undercurrents of emotion, longing, and desire that shape her choices. We've explored 5 key weaknesses, not as flaws to be exploited, but as profound insights into the female psyche. The craving for emotional escapism, the need for a partner who can inject excitement, novelty, and adventure into her life, offering a temporary reprieve from the routines and responsibilities of everyday existence. The unspoken addiction to strong boundaries, the attraction to men who possess a clear sense of self-worth, who value their own time and energy, and who are not afraid to assert their needs and preferences. The thrill of uncertainty, the desire for a man who can create controlled uncertainty, who keeps her on her toes and prevents her from becoming complacent. The magnetic pull of leadership, the attraction to men who possess a clear vision, who are confident in their decisions, and who are not afraid to take charge. The desire for a man who doesn't need her. The longing for a partner who is complete and fulfilled in himself, who has a purpose that extends beyond the relationship, and who is not dependent on her for his happiness or sense of self-worth. Understanding these weaknesses is not about manipulating women or playing games. It's about cultivating the qualities and characteristics that naturally attract them, qualities that stem from inner strength, self-awareness, and a commitment to living a purpose-driven life. By becoming a man who offers emotional escapism, who sets strong boundaries, who embraces strategic uncertainty, who embodies leadership, and who lives a life of purpose, you will transform yourself into an irresistible force, attracting women who are drawn to your unique energy, your unwavering self-assurance, and your compelling vision for the future.